Hi there, if you are new to this channel, my name is Yvonne and you are landed on a channel where I love to do thrift store makeovers, secondhand finds, wherever I can find them. So in today's video, I'm hoping to inspire you with some of my thrift store makeovers. My first makeover is going to be this tray. It definitely has an industrial farmhouse vibe. It's really in good condition, but that's what we do here on this channel is we make things over. So not always does it have to be a huge transformation. $6.29. Okay, so I want a decoupage paper, the top of this. There's really not any top coat on there, but because it's brown, the decoupage won't pop. It'll kind of like darken because the background is dark. So we're gonna go ahead and paint this white, and I'm just gonna use Fusion's Picket Fence to give it a nice coat of white. It might take 1 or 2 coats depending on how the wood absorbs the paint in. But you need that background color so that it pops. So I'm doing 2 coats because you can see how the paint soaked in, so that might not be bright enough to make the paper pop. So my paint is dry now, and I have this beautiful sunflower paper that I want to put on here, and I am going to center it like this so I get the most sunflowers. I purchased this off of Zazzle. Yeah, so I think the way I laid it right here, my first attempt, is wonderful. So yeah, so we're going to be using some decoupage transfer gel to apply it. I bought it last summer because I absolutely loved it. I'm sure that they still have it. I'm not going to worry about the wrinkle right now. I'm just going to get the paper on because we can iron that out. So, oh, don't move on me. Oh, you can't see what I'm doing. Okay, let's get in the frame. Bit goes the long way. I like the Fusion's transfer gel because it doesn't bleach out, doesn't fade the image. I find sometimes Mod Podge does change the color a little bit. Just personal preference. Get out of there. can cut off the excess. That way it doesn't pull on the paper as it's drying. That's enough piece that I could save that because there's a flower left. Ooh, flower left. So now I let this completely dry, and I'm just using some parchment paper and my mini Cricut heat press just to work out any of the wrinkles that might be on there. I like the character of wrinkles. Just again, one of those personal preferences. And when I was using the Cricut heat press, I was really concentrating on those edges, making sure that they were good and adhered and down. And now I'm just taking some 220 sandpaper and just kind of using it to cut off the edge of the excess paper. So just going back and forth, trying not to pull it up until it's actually cut all the way through. Well, this paper is just gorgeous, but I'm just making sure that I got all that little sanding dust out of the way, because now I'm going to go ahead and do my top coat using some more of that decoupage transfer gel to seal this top in. So now I'm just going to take some of the Homestead clear wax and just do another protective coating, even though I did the transfer. Don't really want to gel. I don't want to really like spray anything on it. I just want a little bit more protection, and this will work. So this is in good shape. There's no sense of painting it. I cleaned it well. So just have to figure out, I'm sure there's a rhyme and reason about how the wood goes in there, and we'll figure it out. Is I'm gonna add these little feet. If you remember when I took this off, it just had like little pads on it. So I grabbed some longer screws in our stash, and that way it's not just sitting, it's raised up a little bit. Item I'll be making over for you today is this canister set. Though it's in great shape, but I think somebody would probably want it to be painted, a little bit more updated decor. So I'm going to see what ideas and color choices I can come up with. Great, they still have great seals to them. I don't want to disturb that by any means, because it's nice not only to have pretty good decor, but it's nice when it is useful decor. So we're gonna go ahead and get these canisters cleaned out, washed up, so they can be drying. So there's not a lot of top coat on these, but I do want to scuff sand them a little bit, just to make sure that they'll grab onto my paint will grab onto them and stick. So since these are going to be used in probably a kitchen or you're going to be pulling on them, I want to make sure that the paint sticks really well. So I am going to do a couple coats of shellac to act as a primer to bond my paint. So I'm just kind of over, like, trying to decide what paint color I wanted to use for these little canisters. And then here sits the 4 jars of Miss Lillian caulk paint. Caulk paint. And I thought, you know what? I have 4 colors. I have 4 jars. Why not? Really, why not? So that's what I'm going to do. I already used this on a previous project on a little stool. Love the color. This one is just Duckie. The white is You Are Loved. Oh, no. You Are Loved. Fresh Sweet Cream, Timeless Green, and a Carnival. I'm going to start off with Timeless Green. I'm going to attempt to very carefully do the bottom. Feel like I can get closer without trying to tape off. Sometimes tape just makes a mess and you're not as close as you think you are. Okay. I'm gonna try to do around the knob. That way I don't mess up my paint too bad when I'm doing it. Sorry, I have to see more than you have to see. I'm sorry. You know, that first coat always looks so sheer because it's the coat that's going to attract that next layer of paint. Try to go with the grain on these because there's definitely some detail in that grain. I do have a board to set it down on, and then I can get the rest of that knob. And then I just store I buy huge bags of Ziplocs to store my little brushes in there to take care of them while we're waiting for our next coat. Okay, let's see what Carnival looks like. Well, this one seems to be thicker for some reason, even though I shook it up. Huh. See how that works. So now we are Fresh Sweet Cream. Oh, that's a nice bright white. Okay, what do I paint this? I think I'm just gonna do white on that, and then I am gonna do some stenciling on it, some stenciling. So yeah, I'll go ahead and I might do those colors. I don't know, we'll find out. Sometimes you just do as you go. Oh, the spindles. The dowel rods, I guess. So do you have yourself a lazy Susan yet to work on your project so you can spin it around? Turntable, thrifted, doesn't have to be anything fancy. Just something to help you do that 360 of working on a project. without having to touch it and move it around. I feel like the white's gonna take a few coats, because white usually does, but we'll move on to our second coat. So now I'm gonna be doing some of IOD's Mercantile stamps. Now these are just the masks. So I want to do a grain sack and I want to do dry goods on there. So I need to do my dry goods first. So I need to take this away. So here's the stamp. Now I'm just gonna use some packing. Got a little close-up view here. It's so tall, it's hard. So I'm gonna use some packing tape and I'm going to make myself a little handle. I just find better control. So we'll remove that. And for the wording, I'm just going to do the black ink. Just grab this because I don't want to accidentally get black ink on my, what I just did. See? Good thing I used it. Okay. Just gonna place that. I'm just eyeballing. A little bit of tape will keep it in place. So I just like to use my Cricut. That way I can make sure that I'm scraping tool. You can get them at the Dollar Tree store too. Just want to make sure that I got it all down. Then very gingerly off my newly painted. Da-da-da. See, that's what I was worried about, but that's okay. I need to make sure that this is dry. So now I put my mask over it. Or attempt to. But for the grain sack, I'm going to go ahead and use that Carnival color. A little bit more on the difficult side, the way that I'm doing this, just because this is so tall. Okay, I think I have enough of it painted. And I'm just going to eyeball. And pray for the best that I don't have to repaint the whole thing. There we go. Okay. It ended up taking like 3 coats to cover most of it. The white took 5. Maybe it was because I was doing very thin, but I'm gonna go ahead and bring these back alive, add some character to them. I do like the way that this paint sand, this is just 220 sandpaper. And I just want to bring back out some of the details. I'm just gonna do some wax, seal it in. I'll go ahead and give this little character too by just distressing the edges. can come up with for these resin candlesticks. A little bit dated, a little bit, you know. So hopefully you can come up with an idea for them. Why it's so expensive, I have no idea. So it is what it is. Now for my candlesticks, they're very, like, you know, elegant, a little bit fancy. I sell candlesticks a lot when I put these Hobby Lobby coasters on top of them. So these are come in a set of 4 or 5, I can't remember. They're in the natural unfinished wood section, and a lot of times, unlike the little individual rounds that are never on sale, because these are over the price, these are on sale, so it's a great deal. But people seem to like me adding. I sell candlesticks a lot, so I'm gonna go ahead and glue these onto the top of that. And then in my little helper bottle here, I have Quick and Thick Tight Bond glue, because I don't have patience to wait for glue to dry. So this is nice because within like an hour it should be dry. So just a bead. Wipe the excess off. Make sure that it's even. Now, because these are resin pieces, there's not like this weird way to sand them or anything. And then you have the unfinished wood on top. We're going to seal it and prime it with the shellac. The wood pieces might take 3 coats because that first coat is just going to soak in. So since these have so much detail on them, I'm kind of going to give them like a mid-century modern vibe using Copperhead Orange by Melange. I'm still learning that name. I know it's probably going to be scary, but you know, bittersweet and a lot of those mid-century modern colors. I thought, why not? I think that one goes wonderful. Now remember, I coated this with 2 coats of shellac to help this paint stick to this resin. Because, you know, resin is just kind of sitting on there. There's nothing to absorb it in. So the paint's kind of attracting, or the shellac is attracting it and giving it something to stick onto. A little bit of paint goes a long way. So I kind of think that this reminds me of the sweet potato by Sweet Pickins when I did the terracotta pot video from the Dollar General. There's that. That's okay. So we're going to do some antiquing wax. We're going to bring back out all those details because right now it just looks like I painted a candlestick. So I think that's why I like to do like the details of making something look old Oh my goodness, look at it sticking those details, just gorgeous. And this has a top coated, it's an all-in-one. I know that color was scary, but once you start adding the waxes and then it tones it down, it makes so much more of a difference. And then we'll just start to wipe off the excess, making sure that we leave it in those detailed areas. So it's amazing what wax will do. Just takes it from, I just painted a piece and it just looks like I painted it, to making it look old and have character. So thank you so much for watching today's video. Do you have a stash? Do you love to go thrifting? Do you just love to go out shopping looking for items that you can make over and add into your own home decor? And if you're a reseller, resell them. So give me a quick comment down below which of the items I made over today were your favorite and if I have inspired you in any way. Again, thank you so much for watching today's video, and as always, if you're part of our YouTube family, thank you so much. And if you're new and you're checking out this channel and you stayed to the end and you like what you saw, please consider hitting that subscription button along with the notification bell so you know we uploaded a new video. And we will see you next time, guys, and you can see what we're up to. Bye!